Creating in Color, sharing the creative endeavors of people of color. I'm your host, Kaybe, and today we speak with Dashawn Ricks, a professional voiceover artist whose past projects include Fluffy, the animated series, and the upcoming indie series, Defenders of Alodia, among many others. How are you today, Dashawn?
Hey KB, how you doing? I'm doing great. It's starting to get a little bit muggy down here. The heat wave is crazy, man. I tell you.
Ew, that's gross. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yeah, we are recording this in August, just in case this comes out in the middle of winter. It's like, what you mean muggy? So,
Yeah, no, truth story. I was in the cave actually. That's my home.
oh wow, a cave?
Nah, I'm not really. I'm not really in a cave. No.
I legit thought you were serious for a split second.
Nah.
You tricked me.
I mean me? No, a cave? Nah. That'd be crazy.
So, how would you best describe what a voiceover artist is?
What a voiceover artist to me, is just somebody who. It's funny that you asked this first because I had a conversation with someone on Insta about a particular role, and what they said to me about how the beauty of voice acting is that, like, you can be anybody or anything. So ideally, a voiceover artist is someone that has the ability to take a whole scene, a scenario, make it their own, and become a character. At least that's what it means to me. So yeah, that's the initial first couple of sentences that you can get out of that. Or if you want the Wikipedia answer, a voiceover artist is.
Nah, I think I like your answer better. How did you get started in voice acting?
Oh, this was like 2011 when I was still in high school, coming along my sophomore year after freshman year. My brother found this YouTube channel. I think it was called like Virtual Smash. And what happened was he discovered a lot of these YouTube series where it was like Smash Bros. Machinimas. And we found one. It was called, I think it's Tales of Event. Yes, Tales of Event.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of like Smash King, Silver Crisis, Grand Brawl, or like Supersonic Racing, Machinima, like all those videos back then. We started binge watching them, and it was so cool to me because Brawl was super hype for us back then. Like we love Smash Brothers, and to see like folks making videos with there's like Nintendo characters and Snake and Sonic, and they have voiceover. I was like, man, that's so cool. It's awesome, and I really wanted to try making something like that. So I made my own series. So that's how I started getting into voiceover. A little machinima series of my own. I called it Brawl Universe, and I voiced a character, just Olivar, like the little spaceman for Pikmin. That was the only character I voiced.
Oh.
I voiced nobody else. Like it was just me, being myself as Olivar, and I did that for like a long, long time. And even to this day, like Machinima is still kind of thriving in the community. Like people still make their series. I come in and again to voice a couple of characters, but that will always be my origin, and I will tell that to the end of time. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of industry pros that started out like in like Smash Bros. Machinimas before they became like professionals. Like I know a lot of the ones that come up is they talk about like Sean Chiplock, how he was the voice of Falco in Smash King, and then he ends up being Rivale in Breath of the Wild. So that's like,
oh yeah, that's right.
So that's really interesting to see that play out. You kind of see how like it just goes full circle, and like everybody kind of just like pearlesces to like their own like livelihood as a voice actor. So it really helps a lot with like these little small projects.
Yeah. And just for those who might not know what machinima is, do you mind explaining what a machinima is? Like, in case the context.
Yeah, the context is. I know I kind of dabbled a bit, but like if you remember like Red versus Blue, like any of those, like I want to say Team Fortress 2 like animations where like they just do over the top acting and just like, or people that have like their own fan series. Like shoot, even like Roblox and gotchas do that kind of thing too. They just take any video game, record it, film it, and they basically turn it into like a little film project or just a little series project. It's episodic, or it could be like a one-shot film, anything. And if you just type in like video game machinima, you'll definitely find a lot. There's definitely still out there like Left 4 Dead, Red Dead 2. There's a couple of like I want to say like just Gmods, like anything that has like an in-game camera, most likely will have someone out there making a project like that.
Gotcha. And it's interesting too because Machinima inspired you to not just go into voice acting, but to create your own projects.
Yeah.
And I know we're like still kind of diving into like your voice acting career and stuff, but I'm just curious since we're on the topic. Do you have any interest in like going into projects where you do more storytelling or directing or anything like that? Or are you comfortable with voice acting?
Yeah, no, actually, voice acting wasn't my like first interest at heart. It was actually I wanted to get into film, wanted to make like movies. That's also another reason why I wanted to make like a Smash Bros. Machinima, was I wanted to have like I wanted to be in a director's seat. I wanted to tell a story. I wanted to like direct actors. Uh, Machinima was actually where I got my first experience like live directing somebody, like telling them how I wanted something or how I wanted things projected, and I had no experience at all. Like I was just kind of going at it like, all right, I know what I want to hear. So what can I do to kind of get the actor to kind of bring something out that they probably have never done before, as they are also like inspiring actors as well. There's a fight scene that I still am proud of to this day, is on my channel, that I went through both actors. One is named Jaren Greaves and the other is young Obed. One plays Ken and one plays Terry. There was a fight scene between the both of them, and I did live direction as I showed them the fight scene in progress. And that is still some of my best work, but it was just to be able to be in that Discord call and just give them like all the effort noises I want to hear, made that honestly the best thing I've shot in a long time since I started like that type of production. And is actually why I also went to college for, like, to want to be into film industry or anything with like being a director. It's funny story too. When I was in college, there was a class that we had. It was like film TV production 101 or something, and I'll never forget it because I already had experience messing with stuff like in video editors and things when I was making YouTube content. So when I got into the classroom, they were basically kind of like, oh, everybody was like, I have never done this before. And everybody's like beginners. Meanwhile, I'm the only one in class, like kind of just quiet, like, I already know what to do. And then they wanted me to do, they wanted to force the class to do Final Cut Pro. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm just going to do Sony Vegas and like put stuff together. Like, I'm not doing this because I never used a Mac before. And obviously the school curriculum was like, you had to use Final Cut and certain things in the school so that you can be accredited for like the work you do. And it was like such a trip. And what I honestly, what I would do, I was like, I do the work at home and then I would bring it back, put it in there and just like kind of mess around and stuff. Like I'm editing and I'm like, yeah, edit, WASD, Control Alt Delete. Nah.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, trick the system. I love it.
All the bulk of my work was done at home. And I managed to do like a documentary about my mom and a little small documentary about the school. I might be able to find that, the school documentary, but I still have the one about my mom saved up.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I showed it off to a bunch of folks in an audience, and they were like, that's the best thing they've seen. And it's like, it really does make me sad a little bit that like I could never really get a sort of job where I live to do like film or anything like a director, like, or any on camera stuff, because everything in my neck of the woods is like, it's barren, it's like a ghost town, and like everything you need like experience for, like even internship stuff, it's like they were very like sketchy about trying to hire people for like just like entry stuff. And it's like, well, how do I get experience for just like, you know, the simple matter if I can't really get a job doing it? Like, do I have to just be on my own until it's like, hey, so I've made this, so will you hire me? And that's kind of like, you know, the harsh reality I face, and that would push me to do voiceover.
I know that's something that a lot of people run into, is that like, how am I supposed to get the experience if you don't give me the opportunity to gain the experience? Like entry level jobs being like, oh, you need to have like 3 years of experience at least.
I just wanted to do like my local news station like jobs, like maybe do some on camera things, because we did that at my college. Like we we did like a segment where it's like, oh, this is how it is on TV, or like maybe News 10, or even like just your local news station. Like the professors would guide us through what we're supposed to do, like, ABC and 1 2 3, this is what you're supposed to do, this and that, and then action. And we would read lines and read scripts and stuff. I mostly did camera work. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah, I can see where this is going. I can see how to do it. However, I could not get a job to do that because they wouldn't hire people. And even with COVID, it was still rough.
I feel like, especially in the entertainment industry, it's a lot of who you know.
Oh, yeah.
You get the opportunity. And there's a lot of people with the potential to do great things that never get it. And I feel like they use the excuse of not enough experience to cover that up. Like, obviously, I'm just speculating. I have no evidence to back that up whatsoever.
I know. It's all good.
It's really frustrating because, I'm trying to make a more creative career switch myself and trying to get my foot through that door. There's a lot of people who just, like, try to push you down. It's tough.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely know that it's something that I would love to visit in the future. Like, if I'm able to get like another opportunity, like I definitely would love to direct somebody, whether it be live direction or like voice direction session, something of that caliber. I was kind of thinking about this as I was looking over like what to do with my channel because I've been so busy with voiceover. I've been thinking that, maybe in the future, I've been really supporting a lot of indie projects and being a lot of indie series, as you mentioned earlier, like Fluffy and then Defenders of Alodia. I thought to myself, like, maybe one day in the future, I would like to tackle to do like my own indie project, like, with like creative cores, and let's just have a lot of team together to do something. It's just something I had in the back of my mind. I'm not saying I'm doing it, but as the experience is still in me, I kind of don't want it to go to waste. And I'm like, I really would love to have that opportunity one day.
Yeah, of course. It sounds like you're really good at it. It seems like you have a natural ear for it since you were able to like live direct a fight scene, but you knew exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah, I really do think about like how it was just a lot of people actually tell me like, man, you're really talented and have like a lot of experience for being so early. And I was like, bro, I've been doing this for like years, man. I'm just now doing it professionally.
Right. How would you distinguish that line that you finally crossed recently where it became professional for you?
I never really work with people that pay me. That was a different kind of feeling for me, for sure. I was in a Discord server and someone reached out to me based on my voice acting performances and like a couple of machinima projects. So Space Hotel, a podcast series that is like, I played a character, Frank Nix. That was like definitely an eye-opening experience for me. So shout outs to Eddie Francisco. Like, he's the one that kind of opened my doors. He's like the creator of the Galactic Punch Bowl. He and the team behind the Space Hotel have made like a really nice series. But when I got the opportunity to play a character that I would get paid for it, and it was like, oh, this is consistent work. Oh, wait, hold on. Are you telling me that I could have been getting paid to do this? And it's like, it's really sad too, because it's like, sometimes people just don't get that experience. So they don't ever think about like, yeah, I wouldn't really, do paid jobs. I just want to do it for fun. That's the key word I keep hearing. Is like, I just want to do it. It's a passion project. I just want to have fun. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with fun, but you also got to think about like, if you're going to record a hell of a lot of time and put energy into something, you should really be paid for what you create, because you're part of that process. You are helping the director reach a vision that he has or she has or they have, and you really need to. You should be rewarded for your hard work as well. And when I got that first pay and I hear the audio and everything, and normally I'm so used to projects just kind of being, they'll get better with the next episode and things like that, or I'm always playing the extra. So to be able to like have that opportunity to play that character and then get paid for it, it definitely opened a lot of doors for me.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have this attitude whenever it comes to something that's creative and there's passion behind it, that just because you get to enjoy the work that you're doing, that should be enough for you not to want money and not
Yeah,
to want to have your
I'm just
bills
happy to be
paid.
a part of something.
And it's like you can be a part of something, but you can also be compensated for it because you're putting in work and time.
Oh yeah. Once I got in Space Hotel, that definitely changed my mind about things. And then as I just kept, I kept auditioning for stuff. I kept trying out. I got rejected here and there, and I kept trying. And then what really, I still think about this, but what really shifted my way of thinking, and I really can do this professionally, it's when when I saw that audition on Twitter. It was for Defenders of Alodia. And then I got in the server and I auditioned for Barian and Vex. Then I got the DM from Naya, and it was like, "Congrats, you've been cast." And when I saw everything that they were working on and what they've been doing, man, I was like, "Did I just book something really big?"
It seems like it.
It's like, yeah, and it's like I want more of this, but at the same time, I really want to like have this as sort of a business, and that also helped with me on the business aspect.
What does your daily routine look like?
My daily routine consists of, getting up in the morning, got to make sure everything is clean. I tend to my grandmother. She is disabled, so she's got a lot of issues getting around the house. She has a walker, so tend to her, have her fed and food and everything. She's good. It's just that it's hard for her to like walk around and do a lot on her own. So once I make
Right.
sure she's all taken care of for the morning, I do my planning for the day, and that usually consists of like, all right, am I in the voice acting auditioning mood? Do I just search for projects and like cold email people, or am I in like a marketing mood? What's out there right now? What can I show from a project that I'm in, and like and tag, and do they have a Twitter and vice versa, or like what can I showcase on my timeline? Things like that. I never really looked up in how marketing goes, but it's like that's basically what I love to do on the side. It's just like, hey, this project is working on X and X, and it's like I really love if you guys support this. I've watched their like latest episode, and they seem like they have a really good thing going. Support them. Here's the Kickstarter link, or here's the episode link. Just trying to have a sense of togetherness, because it's really just like we're all kind of on the same endless path, and
Yeah.
it's like I definitely want to like help others as they would have helped me if it was like me up there trying to do my business. And then the rest of the day is like I either brain rot in game or try to catch up on things I missed on my backlog.
What are some roadblocks that you ran into?
Roadblocks, financial, security, because my resume is pretty like dank right now. I'm in a lot of production that's like, I'm in a lot of projects that are in like, pre-production phases. So a lot of stuff that I book isn't really out there on the table yet. So, in order for me to like kind of give people a sense of like confidence as to like my skills and what level of like, what type of actor I am, I was hoping that I could like take a lot of classes to kind of like fill up the resume to make me look even more professional. However, the thing about voice acting is that like it can be a hindrance when it comes to like paid opportunities. Because obviously, there's like 100,000 of us looking for work in the same place, the same. You've seen the same tweet, you've seen the same casting call, and we're all applying for it. And it can only be one person for that role. And I think that's my biggest setback for a lot of things right now is trying to like figure out how to like balance income for when I need it the most. Because voice acting is an investment. Like you have to be willing to put money down on things that will help you, to book the gig, to like, stay up to date with like high quality, make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. And then even use something that you might not even like use. Like I know a friend of mine Insta was talking about like, yeah, I have Source Connect. I've had it for about 2 months, and it's still taking money on my account, and I haven't even used it.
Oh,
And it's like,
yep.
it's gonna be good for something. So it's just, that's one of my roadblocks, honestly, and it kind of made me take a break from VA work to just sort of like take a secondary job, and I believe that's one of your like next questions coming up.
That is my next question. Let's get to it. How do you balance your secondary job with your pursuit of voice acting?
Okay, all right. So that first year doing like sub teaching work, that was like ideally one of the most stressful times for me because it's, if you've heard it or if you've seen it on like outlets or articles around, the school system isn't really doing that well. And COVID really just did a number on like a lot of expenses, a lot of education systems, and teachers are just not working. So my job really kind of did me a ringer at like trying to like do a full-time substitute job, but also be like basically like the fill-in teacher, even though I didn't have,
Oh.
yeah. So I wasn't just a sub. I was also like that teacher for that class. And when, um, you know how you have 4 blocks full of like students to like,
Mm.
yeah, that wasn't me. My first time working there, it was for me, it was like, I had 3 blocks. I had to do independent living, which independent living is just simple things in life, learning how to deal with like expensive savings, credit cards, loans. It's just stuff that kids really need to learn that we don't really teach kids. And that was my job. And then my third block would have been English. That's not what I signed up for, but I mean, that's what they gave me. And then come to find out, oh, I can't teach this class because I'm not a certified teacher. So they're basically not going to get a credit for it if they let me teach it. So
Oh my God.
yeah, so I had 2 blocks, and then for the rest of the day, I just sat in my classroom and did nothing.
I see.
Yeah, that was basically my job for the first semester. Second semester, it was hell. I had 3 blocks of students, and it was also bad because they kept bringing kids from other classes because, quote unquote, they don't like the teacher. So they had to like cut the snake off at the head and put the kids in my class. And it felt like I was about to lose my mind because it felt like every other week they were just bringing kids in here. And again, I'm not a teacher. I'm a sub, and I've been doing it for a while before I took this job. And it's like every day was like that up until the last day for me, which was in May. And I had to basically sacrifice time to like do voiceover on the side. Like if I saw an audition, I was going to make it was like every Friday, I'm like, okay, Fridays, I'm auditioning for this. Or if I see something, I'm like, I'm auditioning when I get home because I'm going to forget about it and I won't have the energy to do it. So it was honestly sort of a rarity that I would book while also work. But at the same time, like that job kept me financially secure, at least for like the bills I had. But at the moment, my day job right now is just like I'm like kind of in between doing full-time VA and like trying to maybe look for another job. But it definitely wasn't easy. And yeah, for those that are still currently working while also doing voiceover, yeah, it's rough. So the best answer to that question is to just you have to plan ahead. You have to plan ahead because you never know what could happen going into work, how you feel, because we have our social battery drained, and then we don't feel it in the booth, and then we have all the sense of dread, imposter syndrome, and then we start seeing people's victories on like the timeline, and it just makes you feel like, man, I'm so far behind. Everybody's like way ahead of me because I've been taking off. Am I slacking? It's like all that stuff, it just plays a factor into your head, and it just really can like ruin a performance. I just say plan ahead for sure.
So, as someone who records from a home studio, what type of equipment, hardware, and software do you use? Like, I know we discussed before we started the interview that you're not at your recording booth right now, you're just at your desk. So, do you mind walking me through some of the stuff you use?
Yes, for sure. So, in my booth, I have a Rode NT1A microphone. I also have a mic stand. I also have this secondary stand. I should send you a picture, honestly, but like I have that stand. I have this like portable 15-inch monitor that I got for Christmas that I use to like, project my MacBook onto the secondary screen. helps me with the session. Matter of fact, it helped me with a recent session that I did that I'm super excited for.
Ooh.
I have a Scarlet interface, like a Scarlet solo interface, and I have a little nightlight thing that pops up above me. Yeah, and I have all under it in a PVC pipes and like moving blankets.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sounds very
yeah, I
effective.
upgraded for sure. Like I remember early into January when I was still doing my teaching. No, I don't think it was January actually. I think it was like back in November, October. I tried to turn this like walk-in closet that's right next to me. I tried to like put the
Mm-hmm.
blankets like a shower curtain drape and like I use a shower rod as and I use try to act like a shower curtain and like build a little booth around that and then put foam in the closet. And it was a decent idea. The only problem is that everything still sounded boxy. And then
Mm.
the foam wouldn't stick. It actually ended up tearing a little bit of the paint off. So I was like, okay, that didn't work and I sound boxy and I don't want this to be what I send to people. So I had to wait a bit to upgrade. And as you know, with work, that can kind of weigh in on you and just kind of make you just not want to do any voiceover. But eventually I
Yeah.
upgraded and yeah, man, like my quality is really good.
And what software do you use?
I still use Audacity. I know a lot of people have like different DAWs that they use, like Reaper, Adobe Pro. Um but I still use Audacity for the meantime. It's just something quick. Shoot, there are
Mm.
people that have done work for like big gigs and they still use Audacity.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with Audacity. I'm using Audacity right now.
Using it right now.
Can you walk me through your process of recording, like how you might approach an audition and how you approach recording once you've been casted?
There's a couple of auditions that really nothing clicks for me. So I just kind of do what I'm like really good at, just to kind of like give the actor, not the actor, the director a sense of like what my range is. And then that'll be the
Mm-hmm.
first take. The second take would just be something different or just a complete different ad lib like of the lines that's presented.
Mm-hmm.
But lately that was actually what I used to do, but nowadays when I approach an audition, I'm just like whatever pops in my head and then what I feel in the booth, that's what I record. And I just leave it as a one take. Because in this industry, there's a lot of people that are going to like audition or take an audition approach. And 9 times out of 10, it is going to sound the same as like 100 other auditions. And what I've always heard is, and especially like from great voice actors like Jun Yoon, is about improvisation is such a big thing in the industry. And when you take an audition and make it your own, but like you make it so different from like the thousands of others that the casting director or the director has to listen to, it makes you stand out. So it's really about what can I do to make myself stand out from everybody, but also display my own skills. I think the best example I can make for that is there was an audition for a character in this project called Project Truth. I got cast as two characters. One is Kato and the other one is Chris. And Chris in that game, he's a bard. And you know, like the bards that are in like fictional like fantasy tropes or just video games, they're always like unpredictable and just like extra. Like you can think of characters like Venti or just like any bard from like any fantasy game. And when I thought about that, and you know, granted, Chris was black too, so I was like, okay, um, I'm trying to think. Do I approach this as like me trying to do a high, like a medium voice, like something like Static Shock or like a Philomar, you know, character, or do I do something that's so unexpected in the audition that it's either going to like make or break, you know, the casting? So what I did was there's a line where he actually sings and hums a bit, and it would go like do 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 do. The train were crashing, the shields were bashing, bashing. No, that's not it. Come on, Chris. Is bashing really the best word you could come up with? And what I did for this part is I actually took it a step further. I brought a notepad in with me, and so when I was going through the line, I would intentionally like go like nope, 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 nope. I give up. And so I scribbled on the notepad as I was like, all right, that idea is scratched because that's what songwriters do. They they always like are thinking of the next lyric, and when it doesn't flow, they etch it out, rip off the page, continue on. And that was something that I was
Yeah.
like, this is really unexpected that you would do it on audition. And the directors loved it so much that they were like certain that I was like the shoe pick, but they wanted to be respectful. And it's like, all right, so we want to wait till the deadline's over. But that's how you like, get people to remember you. You take chances. And that's kind of what I'm starting to do now with like auditions. For like recordings though, honestly, it's pretty much the same. Just like wherever I feel it in the booth, that's what I go for. And then I'll just do a couple of takes of what the director probably wants. I've always been told that if you don't like showcase your skills at the beginning, like, go really into it to the point where the director was like, all right, let's dial it back down some. You won't really be able to let the director know your skills if you just kind of go like, all right, let me just do exactly what he says. Instead of like, go even higher than before. But, as like I said, it's all about taking risks.
What support, education, or resources do you use or recommend for someone trying to get into voice acting?
I find it funny you say that question after I was like, I've been trying to get into more classes myself because my resume is pretty dry. Oh no, but there is plenty of like classes out there. The VAC Discord has been like super helpful with like resources, classes, indie rate guides, which is definitely something that people should know. For everybody that's trying to get into voiceover, they should know about indie rate guides. You should be paid for what you're worth, and that is a good starter to help you figure out your rates. We also have our what is it X now, but I'm not calling it that. But we have Twitter like where we can have like workshops for mostly by like Strawberry Hill Studios, and of course there's always like closed credits that's like Casting Call Club does. I hear they bring in like every month as a guest speaker or even like a professional VA for like a session. Audio engineering, auditioning 101, VA 101, accents definitely. I still want to learn accents, but I'm not at that point yet. But eventually. And then there's just like if you just look up a VA that you like, they may or may not have a class that they teach. Me personally, the first class I took was with Corinna, voice of Paimon, and they are really good. Corinna themselves actually kind of convinced me to take mocap because of a character read I did. And yeah, my read for the character during class impressed them so much that they were like, first off, do you have that on a demo reel? And second, would you be interested in mocap? Because just watching your reaction, your face, just, oh my God, you would be like so good for mocap. And they told me about like mocap classes in Atlanta, and that's something on the back burner, but it's like, hey, a teacher tells you that. I mean, what more can you do than like just think it over?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and that's that's a pretty big compliment.
Dashawn.
Yeah.
What was your upbringing like?
My upbringing was like pretty normal. Two parents, big family. I have a lot of folks that are like, God-fearing people and Christian religion and go to church every Sunday. Still do. And it's like when I started to do voiceover and tell them about like opportunities, and when I showed them my commercial reel for the first time, they were like, that's me? That's not you. My sister to this day still doesn't believe that the voice I do for the King's Dominion slot in my commercial reel, she still doesn't believe it's me. And it's like, it really kind of just shows like the love and support that they show when you want to do something, and it's like you're not sure. There's a lot of unknown, uncertainty, and it's scary. So to have that type of support at home is just the best feeling. I think what really kind of and I'm sorry for going in on this little tangent here, but like when I learned in college, what really hit me was like, because my brother and I, we went together for the same college, and we found out really harshly that a lot of kids at that college didn't have the same upbringing, and a lot of them lived different lives. And it's like you almost feel like, to the point of like, it's a little depressing actually, because it's
Mm.
like, why couldn't they have the same like upbringing as us? Like, why don't they, like, they deserve to be loved and supported? Everyone does. And taking that home with me after I graduated, it made me kind of give everybody the same benefit of the doubt, where it's like there's a lot of behaviors and habits that people have that, like, you know it always starts at home. And that's kind of why I'm so like supportive and like, caring, and always willing to celebrate wins even with people I don't know, because it's not always about like the one person. It's like us as a community. And like,
Yeah.
you just got to be there for as many people as you can, because you never know like what impact you'll make on somebody's life. But yeah, I would say the upbringing was pretty good for me.
What do you feel are the next steps in your journey?
I think from this point going on, like going forward, I think the next step for me, I actually have a goal list that I put on my phone. Let me actually look real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess the next thing on my list that I'm about to do is attend an anime convention. That's going to be checked off. Uh,
Right.
I have like a new character demo, ADR classes, get cast in a fighting game,
Oh, that's fun.
anime debut, and then it's like record in a actual studio, like a professional studio, because I haven't done that before. But those are just like, kind of like interest goals that I want to try to get to. But I think the really big step for me is I really want to be like represented by an agency.
Yeah.
I think I have enough merit. I think I have enough. I think I have enough to my name in marketing, and I think I have enough like good words and enough connections for me to like be in an agency that's like, you know, credible, reliable, something that's gonna actually bring in work and not just like add somebody to their pool. You know, I feel like that, and I also want. I don't know. I guess it's probably a lot to ask, but I just want to get that like role, like a big role that's like that just solidifies like that. All this work wasn't for nothing. That you actually, you've been doing good, and now you can just look back and say, I booked that, and now I'm gonna be in like this. I haven't really, even with Defenders, I haven't felt like I booked something like that. So I'm just waiting for like the real big gig. Like something big is out there. I know it. So I'm just gonna keep on until I heat that mark, you know?
Yeah. I think you'll get it. I mean, you might have already got it and it's just in pre-production, but I think you'll get it. I believe in you.
Thank you, KB. I believe in myself too.
Okay, so now's the time that I would normally ask for rapid questions, but I wanted to see if you would be interested in trying something different.
Okay. What you got?
Since you're an actor specializing in voice acting, I wanted to try to throw some lines at you and like a character archetype or something, or unless you already have some stowed away in your bag for you to read real quick. Kind of like show off your talents a little bit if you're comfortable with something like that.
I don't have anything on hand, but if you do, I would be more than happy to read.
I got some movie quotes that you could
Oh
read.
boy.
Uh-huh. So I'm thinking for your first part, I like to hear something that's dark and broody. Reading this line.
How you pronounce that word? DeMille?
I believe so. I always thought it was DeVille, but I think it's because I grew up obsessed with 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, we'll just go with that for this case.
Okay.
All right, Mr. DeMille. I'm ready for my close-up.
Ooh, yes! Okay. I want something that is airy anime pro tag for this one.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more. Let's do animal crackers. No, honey. No, we're not doing that.
You want a deep voice Animal Crackers ad?
This would be so. You know what? Actually, yes, I do. Let me tell you.
Wasn't there one of the goldfish crackers that had really deep voice in those commercials?
There was a goldfish with a deep voice.
I think so. I remember it was like the tan one. I think. Well, that explains a lot.
Give me like your darkest, scariest voice for this.
Wait a minute. you want my like just really deep tone voice for this?
It's very deep.
Okay.
Like I want it to be like monstrous. Like oh god, what is lurking? Like
okay,
I just
okay,
like
all right, okay.
Scary because like this movie terrified me as a child, so I feel like this will justify that fear for me as an adult.
E.T. Phone home.
Oh no!
Can even do a little bit more much like E.T. Phone home.
Oh my god, I'm getting flashbacks to being like 2. Okay.
Put that baby in front of the TV.
I know. I just like they didn't let me run amok, honestly. And let's see. Would it be too obvious if I asked you to do like a smartsy guy voice for this line? Or you could just completely flip the script.
Flip the script. For me, it'd be like, what is good, my dear Watson? It's like, what is up, my dear Watson?
Yeah, give me some improv.
It's like, what is up? No, what is down, my dear Watson? If I do say so myself, this lamp here is quite the show. I do think we need to change the bulb there a little bit. It's starting to dim on me, brother. Watson, do remind me to go buy some. Just buy the good stay, Watson.
That's so great. Thank you so much, Dashawn, for speaking with us today. It's been a pleasure. Do you have any social media you would like to share with us?
Of course. You can follow me on Call Me Dashawn on Twitter.com, or I believe it's called Twitter these days. You can also follow me on Instagram at Dashawn/Ricks, or I think it's I think it's hyphen. Well, yeah, it's just Dashawn Ricks on Instagram. It's the same as my just my actual name.
There will be links for all of these social media.
Okay, because it's like I sometimes my old head self can't decide if it's a hyphen or a slash anymore. So it's like I might as well. Wait, no, it's is it an under bracket? Like hold on, Kaybe.
Underscore?
Underscore? Okay, that's what it's called.
That's an underscore.
All right. Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute. Hold on, what am I saying? No, let me make sure this is right.
Oh no!
All right, I guess I am getting.
Oh no!
I think it's getting to me.
You know what? It's evening time. It's time to relax and play video games.
Yeah, you're right.
And thank you, listener, for tuning in. If you're interested in supporting Creating Color, please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and tell your friends and family about us. If you're interested in following me, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Maybe It's Kaybe. And thanks to Namikaze for creating the ending theme. You can find more of his music on his SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Namikaze. That's Namikaze. If you're interested in supporting Creating Color financially, consider a one-time or monthly donation through our PayPal or Ko-fi. They came out recently. I mean, not recently when this podcast episode's going to air, but they came out recently saying how you're supposed to pronounce, that like online payment thing that I thought was coffee because it's like buy a coffee and it's like, oh, I guess that's coffee. But then they said it's Ko-Fi or I don't
I actually
remember.
I actually think it's just Kofi.
Ko-Fi?
I thought it was Kofi the whole time. But if they say in Ko-Fi, LOL.
Yeah, like I think it's kind of like lo-fi, but with
Ah,
a K.
sure. Yes, yeah. Well, just change everything, why don't you?
I mean, nothing is sacred anymore. But go there if you want to support creating color. Or you can purchase creating color merch on Star Rain Studios. Links are available via Linktree. There is a Threadless and an Etsy shop. Before we wrap up, do you have any departing words of wisdom for everyone listening?
I think the best things I can leave off is to just never be afraid to fail, because you never know once you try. And in trying, you have so much to learn versus just like doing nothing. So yeah, just never be afraid to fail.
That's great. Thank you so much. This has been Creating Color. Keep striving, keep trying, keep creating. Bye. And that's the end.
That was really good.